What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. As the title says, we are just going to be testing out Crew Chief, which if you don't know what it is like an all-in-one spotter slash crew chief, more or less. It just gives you updates on how the race is going, how your car is. You can use it for a lot of like other functions, especially in iRacing, where you can use it to like do voice commands to adjust how much fuel you're going to take in pits, clear all of your like pit stop settings, so when you go in, if you just need repairs, you don't have to pop through all the black boxes in iRacing. It's a really awesome app though. It really makes the like races really interesting, especially in Assetto Corsa where you don't have any kind of spotter or anything like that. But anyways, guys, I'm just running some last minute checks, making sure everything's working right, and we'll go ahead and jump in. I have quite a few like newer mods I've downloaded that I hadn't tried before. They're not all new, but they're new to me. That's mostly all vintage race cars we're going to be taking out today and just playing around with them on some of the tracks I've downloaded and just see what kind of races we can get into against the AI here in Assetto Corsa. I've really been trying to like tweak and tune the AI to get them to where they're difficult to race against, but they're not just like really sporadic and hard to drive up against, especially in like corners and stuff. They can get really like twitchy and jumpy or just all pile up, which a lot of that comes down to the AI lines in the tracks too, but with some tweaking, you can get them driving pretty well, I found out. Alright guys, for the first race we're going to be doing here, we are going to be at Goodwood. Very, very famous circuit, and we are going to be going out in the Assetto Corsa Legends cars. This is actually my first time driving this GTR 2000. It's a very, very skittish car in the rear end when it gets in boost coming out of corners, so you definitely got to be a little careful with it. I actually did like a couple practice laps around here just to like test my audio settings, make sure all the levels were correct and stuff for you guys before we actually started streaming. But anyways, guys, we'll just go ahead and click try again here, get this loaded up. I'll go ahead and kick the background music off for you guys too. And we'll get our webcam switched on. At least in theory, as long as my Stream Deck app's wanting to actually cooperate with me today. So if you haven't tried this track mod, it's actually an extremely, extremely accurate representation of Goodwood. Out a little bit before we really trying to push. Hey, this Skyline, well, GTR 2000 sounds absolutely insane. Coming up on the Corsa. Hey, you guys can hear Billy Strange there. I have him set as the spotter voice. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I really enjoy watching his videos, and he did a really good job, I gotta say, for his little voiceover bits for this. Whoa, missed third gear there somehow. I also recently got the Sidekick app added in here in Assetto Corsa. You can kind of see that above the gauge cluster there. It's like an all-in-one for basically everything you would really ever need in Assetto Corsa as far as apps go, besides like your track map. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it since I got it set up. Oh yeah, I forgot it's only 5 speed. What am I doing? Ooh, a little bit of a lockup coming in there.
E9. Yellow flag, watch out.
I was about to say, I haven't heard crew chief or anything there for a minute. I was wondering what was going on. I'm actually seeing a little bit of frame stutter too, which is really odd for me in this game. I'm not sure if it's because I'm running so many cars on the track plus streaming, and I do use the software encoding because I have a Ryzen 2700X. In theory, it's more than enough processing power for it, but it could be causing a little bit of frame stutter because I did crank up my bit rate just a little bit for this, see if I couldn't squeeze a little more quality into the stream.
Ahead is increasing. It's now 2.4.
Oh, a little bit too much speed. Started understeering there. As you can see, though, they are extremely informative, and you can have it even more detailed than this. I didn't have all the settings checked. You can change the intervals, which the app's been around for a while, but it actually took me a while to find out about it. And as you can hear there, they actually have it to where you can customize it so it knows your name and actually uses your name when they're calling out stuff to you. As long as your name's in the list, and I guess if you donate, if your name's not on the list, he will go ahead and add it for you. Which is really awesome, I gotta say. It really adds a really high level of detail that's kind of missing from basically all simulators.
Two to go. E9. The next car is Cock.
Well then. Oh, a little sideways there. So one thing I gotta say about all the cars in this pack that I've tried anyways, they all drive extremely well, and pretty much how you would expect them to, at least from how they're set up and the kind of power they're putting out. The Porsche 906 Carrera, I believe if I'm not mistaken there, it could be a different model, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is a really, really fun car to drive, but it's extremely understeery on throttle, which is expected from that style drivetrain or powertrain layout.
The leader has just done a 124.2. Kobayashi behind is pitting. One more to go. P9.
Oh,
push. We can get this going.
Come on, get back out of the grass. I say we're definitely gonna understeer and go out a little bit there. I was carrying way too much speed. I know I really shouldn't hit the limiter like every gear in this thing, but it sounds so good. Oh, you can see what I was saying about this thing right there. Once it comes into boost, if you're not ready for it, it'll just snap right around on you. I don't have any more gear left.
Alright. Hold your line.
Oh, I was trying to give him room.
All clear on the right, or on your right.
Is he really gonna try it? Oh my god, what a madman.
Watch out.
And he almost pulled out right in front of us. Wow, that got wild.
P8, that's the finish. Well done.
We got the position though. Wow, that's what I was saying. Like the AI are a little ruthless almost. They're not too bad where I've got it set at right now though. I'm pretty happy overall with it. But in some corners with like the AI line for the map, it just, they will plow straight through you. I gotta say though, that car is amazingly fun to drive. It just, Crew Chief adds so much immersion. I know I already said it, but it just really, really makes you feel like you're actually in a car racing, and you have a pit crew there just, and a spotter obviously, just telling you what's going on in the race, keeping you up to date on everything. Sorry there guys. And that's like not even tapping into all the voice control and stuff. I didn't really even play around with that at all during that race. And actually, while I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead, just in case you guys haven't already seen it, I will kind of show you guys what the list of stuff that you can do as far as voice commands is. Hopefully you'll be able to make it out on screen. I hope it'll be clear enough for you guys. It should be. But anyways, as you can see here, just a massive list of stuff. And then coming down in here is the iRacing specific pit stop functions. Then there's Raceroom racing experience specific pit commands, which I still have to set up Raceroom. I did go in and set up like the basic configuration files. Oh wait, I bet my webcam's covering up part of this. So let me drag this over here a little bit. But yeah, I did set up like the basic properties for it, but I haven't actually launched it and tested any of it out yet. I have tested the iRacing commands though, and they do work very well, and it makes driving so much easier where you're not having to fumble around with the keyboard. Because even though I have a button box for like going into the black boxes for the pits, you still have to like use your mouse, go in and untick stuff. And if you forget to do it at the beginning of a race and you get hit by somebody, it can really cost you time going into the pits, fumbling around with all of that stuff. Plus, I really feel like the spotter just does a little better job than the default iRacing one. And then going over to a game like this, where, well, a sim like this, where we have literally no spotter to begin with, or really any kind of communication, the races kind of seem almost, I don't want to say dull, because the racing's exciting, but it just is missing that extra level that it adds as far as like the immersion and just knowing what's going on in the race without having a million things up on screen all the time. As you guys can see now, other than Assetto Corsa and Sidekick, my screen's pretty clutter free as far as apps go, and I don't really need very much to know what's going on now. So as you guys saw in the thumbnail, I was driving this little Estonia 3 earlier. This thing is absolutely a blast to drive. That's all I can really say. I'll show you guys the stats on it. It's only 35 brake horsepower, 49 newton meters of torque. Only weighs 265 kilograms, so basically nothing. It's literally a go-kart is all this thing really is. It's a very, very fancy go-kart. It actually reminds me a lot of like a really large pedal car almost. As you can see, there's a ton of different liveries for this thing too. But what makes it so fun to drive is the power to weight ratio, and it's also got just a ridiculous amount of grip, but at the same time when you want to push it in a corner and slide it out and really try to carry some speed, it has an incredible handling model, and for what it is, it drives a lot better than I think it probably should. But being as low to the ground as it is, as light as it is, and having such a low center of gravity, it might realistically drive as good as it does. I don't know if I want to go to this track for this though. It was kind of a madhouse with these on here before. There's like some weird spots too in the track towards the edges on the straightaway back here, where the AI would just like go flying off both sides of the track, and then they would sink down where there's not actually a map, it just looks like there is, and disappear into the ground. It's very bizarre. When I went back and watched the replay, I got a pretty good laugh out of it. My wife thought it was pretty hilarious too. She was actually here when I was, or up here with me when I was testing those cars out. Really need to get a drink. My voice is super scratchy. As So as you guys can see, I have a ton of drift tracks. I also have quite a few race tracks. It's just kind of hard to find them buried in there. I actually feel like this would probably be kind of a fun circuit for them, but I don't want something with too many really long straights, because these things do get up to about 80, 90-ish miles an hour, but they're not really that great on straightaways just because they're not really fast, so the racing's kind of boring if there's not a lot of corners on the track. You know what? Let's see if we can manage to get this thing. Let's say, you know what, let's make it even more interesting. I actually have the classic version of Nordschleife right here. I think there's... Actually, I think all of these actually do work in races, if I remember right when I downloaded this. I don't think you can do the tourist one in a race, though. So we're going to go to the full Nordschleife layout. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do a race on Nordschleife. I am getting over being sick a little bit. No, I did not get coronavirus. I've just had a really bad congestion and cold the last few days. So I am very phlegmy too. That's definitely not helping matters at all. But yeah, we'll do... Definitely don't want to do more than like 3 laps. Especially, we'll do 2 laps. I feel like that's going to be a pretty lengthy race overall in these. Yeah, we're looking at 36 minutes, 29 seconds is estimated. Screw it, we're doing it. I really love this track. I actually have never tried this version of it though, so we might die. I really hope we can survive, but we might die in this race. I have no idea if we're going to get through the first lap at all, because really all of my track knowledge of this circuit kind of goes out the window, considering this is the layout from 1967. And there goes my Stream Deck app, forced closing out on me. Hey, it actually came back first try. Usually it gives me connection issues. If they could iron out the issues with the Stream Deck app, it would be amazing, but at the same time, they don't really make hardly anything from it, honestly. Well, they do, but not compared to actually having people buy Stream Deck, so I don't think they really put that much work into trying to make it reliable and not as buggy.
2 laps. Alright, Jeff, get ready.
Oh, it reset my onboard view. I'm gonna have to fix it real quick and then restart the race. What? And it's not even letting me adjust it. Okay, click save. Still not letting me adjust it. Great. I mean, it's not terrible, but I cannot see the gauges, and I'm way too far up, it seems like.
Two laps. Okay, mate, get ready.
It is not going to let me do anything. Okay, I guess we're just going to drive like this.
Go, go, go.
I also think that the drivers look absolutely hilarious in these cars. They look so just massive sitting in them. This car's so tiny. I literally feel like my face is in the windscreen with how this is set right now. Oh, I have no idea where we're going. I better slow down. The force feedback in these things is absolutely amazing too. And if you guys want to try this mod out, if you've never seen it or don't have it, it's called the Estonia 3, and if I remember correctly, I got this over at Race Department.
Careful, still there.
There's actually quite a few of these Estonia cars from different decades that are just all really, really great cars and a lot of fun to drive. They're all open wheelers.
Easy, hold your line.
This track detail looks amazing. Do we have? No, we only have 4 gears. Okay.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Whoa, this is gnarly. Ooh, a little over rev on that one. It's really easy to over rev this car. I keep calling it a car. It's really, I don't even know what you would consider this. It's just open wheeler, I guess. It's not really a go-kart. It's not quite a car. I gotta say, if I would love to find one of these and get my hands on it. It would be so much fun to just have as a little play to wait. There's no curves or runoff here. You are just going straight into woods or into the like hillside if you go off anywhere. Oh, come on. Ooh, locked up the rear a little bit there too. You can see what I mean about the handling of this thing though. It is absolutely glued to the road most of the time unless you really wanted to step out. I have a feeling these curbs would be really bad to get near in this thing, especially with how like firm and stiff it rides. Like you can feel weight transfer when you really throw it in the corners, where for the most part it's got a very stiff feel, almost like it's just a rigid frame, which it actually looks like it is. It does not look like it's a sprung suspension. It looks like maybe there's some kind of damper system, but that's about it.
Left side.
This is going to be interesting. I have no idea what it's going to look like through here. Oh, it's about the same.
Yellow flag, caution.
The run up to here was definitely quite a bit different than I was expecting now. I am just murdering this engine right now going down that hill. I hope the AI don't start blowing their motors. We have to go back out and turn mechanical damage off. This corner seems a lot less aggressive right there. Oh, you can hear them right there coming in to chime in about our engine. Yeah, this seems a lot less aggressive through here. It's a lot harder to get through the modern version of that corner, I feel like. Oh, more damage to the motor. You can kind of hear it now, too. Seems like they did a really great job on the AI line for this circuit though. The AI seemed to be taking a really nice expected path along the track. I really should have went in and checked to see if I could stretch the gears out. I did not think about the downhill sections and how easy it would be to hit the top speed in this thing.
Behind is now 0.4.
Also, in a car this small or open wheeler this small, this track just seems so much wider than it really is. So it does give you a lot more room for error and just kind of room to play around with your line you're taking through it. This might actually be a fairly simple race to get through in these things just because they do drive so well and they're so small and nimble. It is so hard to see through that glare on the windshield.
Your left. Clear left.
Okay, Jeff, you're reeling or SDA in. The gap is 0.5.
How's my fuel?
Should be about 42 minutes of fuel left.
You guys can see right there what I was talking about the voice commands. I was just kind of curious. I wasn't sure how much fuel this thing actually held. So it's nice to be able to just do that right through there and just get a quick response on how everything is. And even though I do have like tire stuff up here on Sidekick, it is also nice being able to ask about tires, and they will warn you if you're spinning up the tires quite a bit, or if you're locking up a certain tire, they'll actually come in and tell you which one you're locking up, which you can adjust brake bias on the fly for, that sort of thing. So it's really nice to have that data just always being given to you. Wow, this is really interesting through here. Ooh, down in the dirt a little bit. You can really feel it too. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this car on this track, even if it's not the closest racing, because everybody does have some room to spread out depending on how things are going for them. It's just a really great car to take on this track just because of how well it handles and how hard you can kind of push it. A lot of cars, I don't feel like you could really drive them this hard, especially around this old version of Nordschleife. On shorter circuits like that one that was originally there, when I went to start the race with these, it's actually extremely close, extremely fun racing. My wife actually got really into it, which She doesn't really get too much into racing or drifting her cars or anything, but she was actually enjoying watching the race, and there was just a lot of action going on the whole time. Just really, really close racing through the corners. Making our way up the hill. Surprisingly, we're actually gaining on them some with our damage to the engine, which I was not expecting.
Careful, still there.
Kind of worried about what this corner is going to look like here. Wow, we have a lot longer stretch right here before we get to the second section, or second half of this corner. Push us out a little bit on that one.
Still there.
That other track, another thing
there.
that
Clear
caused
left.
me not to want to do this race there is once you come back onto the back straight, when you're getting ready to come across the start and finish, there's this spot where the AI just all weave over to the right side all of a sudden to get lined up for the turn. And if you're in the way and already on the right hand side, the AI will just swing over regardless if you're already there or not and just take the position and slam you straight into the wall. So you've got to really time things out on when you're going to try to do any kind of overtaking and when you're going to get in position for that first corner coming off the straight. I managed to only have it happen to me one time, but it was definitely really annoying and frustrating because I was just minding my own business, giving him plenty of space, and the next thing I know, he's just smashing into me, spinning me out face first into a bunch of other cars. The amount of detail on this map is just insane. I cannot believe how good of a job they did. I can't believe I have not drove this yet either with how much I love driving on Nordschleife. I keep meaning to do it, but there's always other things that I end up deciding to race just because I know how long races here are going to be. And you can never really be sure how Assetto Corsa's AI are going to act on a certain track. And with a race that's as long as this, I really didn't want to just waste my time on a bunch of restarts over and over and over.
Easy, hold your line. All clear on the right.
The gap ahead is now 1.4 seconds. Yellow flag.
Oh, there's a fence there. Wow, that was really gnarly. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Luckily, these cars are as agile as they are, because I doubt I would have been able to get over in time in a lot of other vehicles.
On your left. Hold your line. Still there. Clear left.
Seiler is leading the race.
Oh, wow, that is really, really off camber there. I could feel it on the wheel just trying to pull me out to the outside of that corner. One really nice thing about these is you kind of can just leave them in fourth gear a lot of the time, or third gear sometimes,
Hold your line.
depending on how long the circuit it is, and just kind of use a lot of left foot braking techniques.
Easy, hold your line. Hold your line.
He really wants that position. We're going in the grass.
Clear on your right.
Wow, this is getting wild. The AI are being a little bit ruthless, not gonna lie. It's definitely making it a lot more fun though. I've got a huge smile on my face right now because of this. Oh, over the bridge. And coming up to the hill down to third. Don't want to get squirrely coming out of exit, and I just really did not know how aggressive it was gonna like slope down on me. Oh wow, the carousel is so smooth in this version. Well, the second carousel, that's honestly kind of nice. You can kind of just hook the car in part way through and really floor it out. Or floor it coming out, I should say. Okay. It was just my phone timed out on chat there for a second. I thought maybe there was an issue with the stream, but no, it's just my network timing out. I don't use my Wi-Fi when I'm streaming to watch the stream on my phone and check chat just because I don't want it causing any kind of network issues. And apparently my service is a little spotty right now. Gotta be kind of careful how much we ride the throttle right now since we are flat out and we don't want to blow up.
On your right.
Honestly, I probably ought to go ahead and pit in sometime here just to repair the damage, but I think as long as I'm careful, we'll be okay.
Hold your line. They're on
Here,
your
just
right.
falling behind them and see if we can't get in the slipstream a little bit. Oh wow, that was crazy. I could actually feel some of the weight come off the wheel there towards the center line. Once you get a little bit out, I can feel the car again, but you could really just feel how I was getting into the slipstream. That's another thing. Today I did some a little more engine damage, a little more tweaking to my force feedback setting, and just tried to get everything feeling good between racing and drifting where I don't really need to change too much. And I still get really nice force feedback in both, but the self-steer's not just too brutal when drifting. Because if you crank force feedback up, it just gets unrealistically strong when it comes to the self-steer. Oh, we really should go in the pits and get the car fixed, but I'm gonna lose so much position doing it. I'm not even, okay, there we go.
Okay,
I'm not even sure where.
focused.
Oh, there it was.
Apexes and exits. Apexes and
Wow, that
exits.
came up late.
Left side.
Oh, do I have to back up and go back in it? That's unfortunate. We're really gonna fall behind now. Luckily, we only had engine damage though, so it doesn't take too long to repair. I wonder what's up with those guys. I wonder if they blew up or something. Oh wow, that is trippy. I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, I guess it does come down to kind of like a needle point here at the bottom of the track in this version. That's really weird though. I was like, why are the AI coming directly back at me down there on the mini-map? But you guys can't see that under the webcam. I do have the mini-map up down there. Well, let's see if we can't put down some time here and catch at least back up to the back of the pack. I highly doubt we're going to make up much more than that, but we might be able to catch them. I really hope the video doesn't come across too dark for you guys on stream. I just really want to do something kind of towards the evening because the lighting effects here in Assetto Corsa with a custom shader patch on in the, I can't remember which post-process filter I'm running actually. It's one of the ones included with custom shader patch, but it's definitely not the default. It just gives everything a really amazing look. It's a very almost cinematic, but it still has a really nice lifelike quality to the lighting effects. Oh, that's another thing too. As well as that, you know, obviously you'll get changes in track temperature as it gets darker out and progresses into night. And crew chief's actually supposed to report any kind of big changes to you at the track temp as they happen. So kind of curious to see if we'll hear any of that or not, since I did set it up to record that to us. I know when I was trying it in iRacing, it definitely was working. It's just a nice thing to know though, so you know when you're going to be losing grip and you don't push the car too hard thinking the grip's still there. It's such a different run through here into the footpath. I know it's very, very similar, but it just, after running Nordschleife so many times, it seems so much different. Oh, while I was in the pitch, I should have just jumped back to the settings and see if I could stretch my gearing out a little bit here. It's alright, we only have to finish out this lap. At this point, it's more just for me to have fun and enjoy driving this car around here than trying to get any kind of position whatsoever. Still just going too far into red line there. Woohoo! This thing just hits red line so quick on these downhill sections. And it's kind of hard to tell in the sound of the car when you're really coming up on it or not. because it seems like you're close for so long there at the end of the RPM band, and then all of a sudden it just nails the red line. I'm sure you guys can see there on Sidekick, like I am really trying to play around with the throttle and keep it from doing any more damage to the engine, but it just keeps riding up on that limiter. That was definitely not the prettiest line through there, but we survived. We got a little sideways coming out of that corner too. You guys can see there a little bit what I mean about when this thing gets sideways, it's really controllable and it makes driving this thing a lot more enjoyable. I just haven't really been pushing my luck too much here. It also feels like this track is set up to be extremely grippy, which, like I said, this car is very grippy, but it seems like it's even more so here than on the other circuits I drove it at. Like, I was really trying to get the rear end to come out a little bit there, and it just did not want to come around on me. This poor motor. I guess there are worse fates, though, going around Nordschleife than just some engine damage. I'm really trying to get the rear to come out, and it just does not want to do it here. It's so bizarre too, because it wasn't really that difficult on that last circuit I had up there in Content Manager. I honestly cannot remember the name of it, that's why I just keep saying that last circuit. It was actually fairly easy to slide around and drift around corners when you wanted to, but here it just does not want to come out. I say that, and of course we end up sliding out. That corner is very easy to break traction on, though. It's really easy to spin out there. This almost feels like just a nice leisurely Sunday drive around Nordschleife at this point, since all the AI... Oh, they're actually getting closer. I can see them just right on the edge of my map. So if I really push, we might still have time to catch them before we get to the finish line. Just can't be making any more stupid mistakes or doing too much more damage to our engine. I'm sure we're already down on power a decent amount. How's the tires?
Tire wear looks fine, mate.
How's the fuel?
We estimate 2 laps remaining on this tank, 2.6 litres per lap.
It's actually pretty decent.
You're reeling Christopherson in. The gap's now 13 seconds.
Ooh, I don't know if we can close in 13 seconds. Like I said, though, I knew I was closing them in. I could see them there on the map for a little bit, getting closer. So maybe we can. Just depends on how fast they are. I feel like I might be at a slight advantage to catch them, though, just because I don't have to deal with accidents happening or being just bottled up with the other traffic. I can just kind of go at my own pace and not have to worry about what other cars are doing. So you can just throw this thing in like almost every corner here in Nordschleife, which is insane, and why I enjoy driving this thing so much. There's not many cars you could do this with. There we go. Now it's starting to get a little slippery in the back. You can definitely tell the track's cooling down some now. I think I actually might have had the temperatures left at like 80 some degrees too, so it definitely could take it a minute for the track to cool down if I did forget to turn that down at all. Definitely going to be putting this track in my regular rotation to drive on more. This is really awesome. And there's a lot of different layouts too, so if you didn't want to do the whole Nordschleife, there's a lot of other versions of the 1967 Nürburgring, or Nordschleife. I don't remember which it was actually called back then, or what this pack is called. To be able to run like vintage open wheel racing and that type of thing, and do it on a shorter track. Oh, come on. Barely saved it there. Got a little too distracted talking and was not paying attention to where I was at. ride the curb, even though it's not a curb, it's just a little amount of dirt at this point. Oh, a little sideways coming out of that one. That's when this thing gets exhilarating to drive, is when you actually get the rear end coming around like that and you just slide your way through the corners. Oh, I seen him. We are almost caught up to him now.
Okay, Jeff, you're reeling. Christopherson in. The gap is now 5.8.
Wow, we really made up some time there. That's what I'm talking about. Just put such a big smile on my face when that rear end comes around. And you just pull off such a perfect slide through the corner and just stay flat out like that. They did an amazing job on the edges of the track where you can actually still kind of use them a little bit, but you don't want to go too far out because it is all grass, obviously. You're just going to lose pretty much all your grip, but you can be a little bit liberal with track line, just like I just was there. Did not intend to do that, but perfect example of what I was saying. I don't know if the creator of this track does have donation links or not, but if you guys haven't already downloaded this track and you do happen to download it and they do have a donation link, I definitely think it's worth it for the amount of time and effort that's clearly put into this track. Oh, I love that second carousel in this version. You can just really throw the car into it. That's so awesome.
Careful, still.
Yes, we're not gonna. Well, we were gonna finish last anyways because I think 2 people had to retire from the race, at least 2 of them. But we're not going to finish in the back of the pack of cars that actually do cross the finish line. Oh. Just keep getting a little too far into the RPMs and doing a little bit more and a little bit more damage to the engine. I'm just hoping it'll hold out to the finish line. That is one thing I've noticed with almost all these Assetto cars is if you do not have mechanical damage turned down, at least a little bit, the engine is very easy to damage on them. And there's actually one of them I tried to do a race with, and I could not even get the AI like 2 or 3 laps around the track, I think is how far most of them made it. And every single AI was blowing their engine up because they were constantly hitting redline
12:04.4.
I can't remember which car it was, but I actually have a custom preset saved just for racing those that has the mechanical damage off. It's the only way you can get the AI to the end of a race. And like the car keeps wanting to pull to the, or like past when it's already doing damage to the engine. So I think just there's something a little bit off with how the car is made as far as the mod.
P17.
2 laps. Of course, it wasn't obviously in the fastest car out. Honestly, it was one of probably the slowest cars and best handling. I could have decided to take out my first time around there, but I really did not know how that was going to turn out. There's actually another vintage circuit layout. I think that it's actually a vintage layout anyways. It could be the modern one. I could be completely mistaken. Oh, what is the real name? It's the Isle of Man TT, but I cannot think of what the mountain is called. And that is what the mod is under, is the name of the mountain circuit. It's not Isle of Man. I might actually... Nope, I was hoping that would work. Apparently they don't have it in the tags either, but I want to do a live stream trying to complete 1 lap there. I have tried probably for a good, I want to say 40 minutes probably one day. I tried to get through it, which I was driving cars that were pretty fast, a little difficult to control. Definitely not the best idea trying to just get through a lap, but I was trying to kind of take it easy, and it just did not matter. I kept hitting spots because there's no runoff. And the way the map is made, it's super aggressive if you hit the edges and just throws the car, and when that happens, you just fall off the map and have to start over. I never made it past like the first mile and a half. Well, no, I made it further than that. Probably like 5 miles is the furthest I made it without just getting thrown completely into oblivion. Yeah, 1 mile is definitely an exaggeration. I have wrecked in under a mile on that track though, and like got sent off the edge by a guardrail, ended up falling down into nowhere. Is it? Yeah, I was gonna say Snifel Mountain Course. It popped in my head, but I did not want to say Snifel and that be completely wrong and sound like an idiot because it just sounded wrong in my head for some reason. But yeah, 37.7 miles. And what actually gave me the idea, because I've had the map for a while, I've only drove it a couple times, just messing around, seeing how far I could get. Like I said, I've never made it very far trying to actually drive fast in any way. But I want to do a live stream and just keep pushing myself till I can get 1 full lap completed. And I have a feeling it's going to be quite a long live stream when it finally does happen. I want to get like a really good balanced car for that though, that's not too powerful, not going to be too just insane to get around, and not going to be like enjoyable whatsoever. And try it with that, and then depending on how that goes, try to get a better time down. I also want to do something with this too, the Targa Florio 1973 version. Another just absolutely massive circuit layout. And it's all on street, or like roads. Public roads. Wow, I cannot get words out today. I don't remember if they actually stopped the Targa Florio entirely or not. It seems like they still do run it, but it is nowhere near the same format that it used to be. I could be entirely wrong though. They might have stopped it. I know there was a lot of issues, just like with Isle of Man TT, which they kind of get away with it because they don't really fall under European rule or whatever it is. I can't remember what exactly it is, but they aren't really part of the UK or Europe, something along those lines, so they kind of can do whatever they want. That's actually kind of how the Isle of Man TT races originally started, and they started as car races and actually moved into bikes. And the bikes actually had a hard time back in the period when these races started in the early 1900s, even getting up the hills, because it does run through mountains, and some of it is extremely just up and down elevation changes, which makes it really difficult in cars. But there are still people running the Isle of Man TT as a time attack for like world record runs still, but I don't think there's any actual car races there anymore either. And then I had one other like really long vintage track. I don't think this was the one, but this one is also an fairly difficult. Yeah, no, this is supposed to be like city roads or something like that, I believe. I have a lot of mods. A lot of them I cannot remember what they even actually were. Enough talking about that, though. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and discuss it with you guys. I'm definitely not going to try to get it through it in this stream. I'm trying to keep this stream a little shorter. Like I said, most of this is just about testing out Crew Chief and seeing how everything's working, making sure I have the settings to where I'm happy. I actually don't think I've ever done this circuit. I think we're going to go here next, though. Actually, no, I know what I want to do, because I want to take out a new car pack I actually downloaded today. Billy Strange actually did a live stream earlier today on these cars, and that's where I saw him at first. And it is the Trans Am Legends car pack, but there is a US track I wanted to take them out and race on. There we go, Bridgehampton. It's not a super long track. I don't think this track's in use anymore either. I think it fell abandoned basically around the 90s, which this is like the 97 layout. And I don't think it's ever been reopened. It's a really fun little circuit though. It almost reminds me of like a miniature Brands Hatch in a way. I do want to change up my car choice this time, and as you can see, it is the 1970s, 1969, and there are some 1968 and 67 Oh, there's also a 65. I didn't notice that one before. But yeah, as you can see, it kind of goes through the years of Trans Am racing. This is one of my favorite periods of racing in general, but I am especially a huge fan of Trans Am racing series back in this time period. And even into like a little bit later in the 80s, I still really liked what they were doing. And it goes the same for NASCAR. Back in this time period, it was a really just more raw form of motorsport, and most of the teams were all independently owned, and the engineering was really starting to take off in the technology around this time, so they were starting to put out some really fast cars that actually drove and handled fairly well, especially compared to what came before them. But it really made for some interesting racing. And speaking of interesting, look at this livery. If I remember right, most of these liveries are based off of the real life cars that race in the Trans Am series. I know at least some of them are. I don't know if I want to go with the Mustang, the Camaro, or the Challenger. I drove the Cuda earlier, and it drives exactly like you would expect a Cuda to drive. Super heavy, very understeery just because of how heavy it is. Just a monster of a car to get around the track, but a ton of fun too. I'm a huge Mopar fan. I think I'm going to have to take the Challenger out this race and just see how it drives. I think it's more than likely going to be almost exactly the same as the Cuda, but it might actually handle a little bit better. I know a lot of the Challengers that were in racing did tend to fare a little bit better other than in NASCAR, which in NASCAR it was the Superbird and wow, why can I not think of the Daytona, which is actually based off a Charger, but still same concept. Oh, whoops, cancel. I didn't add the AI. Forgot I had it set to be the same car, so we want to go to custom. We'll keep, say, like 2 other Challengers. Not sure how many of each I'm going to want to add in here, because there are a decent amount of the cars from the 70 year, or the 1970 model year I should say, and I kind of have been trying to like separate them a little bit so it's more of how they would have raced against each other, which being private teams, I'm fairly certain some of them did race like the 69 model year against the 70 model years. It just, I try to keep it split this way, at least right now while I've been trying to get used to the cars, how they drive and stuff. Just makes the racing seem a little bit closer in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they all put out fairly similar power numbers overall. There are obviously some a little faster than others. Especially the Mopars, they put just a massive amount of power down. Actually, what is the Challenger actually less than the Cuda? I don't know. All it shows there is the Newton meter. What the heck? Let's see, 526 Newton meters. Okay, yeah, I think they put down the same power then. Let's see, so that gives us 12 opponents. Let's go ahead and add another Challenger. Do another Firebird. So we need 3 more. So we'll toss in another Camaro, Javelin. Now we're throwing in some of the 69 models, but we'll throw them in the back anyways. And yeah, let's throw a Dart in there just for fun. Why not? Brings us up to an 18 car grid, and we can go ahead and get this race started. I've been pretty happy that all the cars I've tried in this car pack seem to work. With the it's not the Assetto Corsa Legends, but the Assetto Corsa, or the Touring Car Legends pack. There's one car in that one that for some reason for me just won't allow me to use it, and when I try to put it in races, it just closes out the race for some reason. I really don't know what the issue is. Really frustrating though.
That's pole. Okay, Jeff, are you ready? Watch for the lights.
Oh, I didn't mean to start us off in pole. I guess I can just pull off and get out of the way here though. Oh, as you can see down here too, that sidekick gap also tells us when your wheel's not straight at the beginning of a race, which is really nice. There's been a few times I've forgotten, just gone straight into the side of somebody or into the wall. Come on, guys, get going.
Yellow flag.
So I don't know if any of you have actually ever drove
On
Volts.
your left.
Oh, wow.
You're clear left.
Okay, we didn't get any major damage. We'll keep going. But if you've never drove an old vintage muscle car, the steering is,
On your right.
for the most part, fairly light.
Right. Shocking start. Come on, get it together. Forget about that. It'll probably just polish out.
They're very heavy. They tend to understeer a lot, but because the power steering is so over-assisted in a lot of these cars, unless they had manual steering racks, the steering is just so light and floaty feeling in them, and they did a great job on this pack
Car on your
getting
right.
that
Clear
feeling.
on your right.
You're in pole. Get ready.
They did an amazing job on the sounds too. This doesn't really have quite like a Mopar sound. This almost sounds more like a stock car to me. But either way, they got a really great V8 sound to all these cars. You can really just see the car squat down and buck down in the front when you clutch in. As soon as you're on throttle, the rear end just squats down, which is a lot of why this thing will get understeery if you're on throttle a little too much coming through the corner. Oh, too much speed there. Way too much. I will say the only time I drove this circuit was in high downforce cars, so I was definitely not ready for that.
Oh, Jeff. Shocking start. Come on, get it together.
I know. That was horrible. Just drives like a boat through the corners. It does feel slightly different than the Cuda, but it's a very similar, which you would expect because they are built on the same chassis with basically all of the same components. Other than the body anyways, obviously. Oh, you can dive through that corner with so much more speed and something with downforce. I really thought I was going to be alright there. Definitely too fast for this thing. I feel like I'm just going to have to baby this thing around most of the corners unless I get on the power and get it to oversteer. Oh, I never changed the race from 2 laps either. Totally my fault again on that one, but that's okay. We kind of need to restart anyways. We fell way behind because of those mistakes I made. Come on. Well, that was just poor performance on my part there. Okay, let's go ahead and back out so we can hop over here and fix that. Actually, I think I'm going to change the track. I really don't know if I want to try to work on getting this thing around that tight of a circuit. Not quite what I was expecting. See, looking at it right here beside, wow, I cannot talk today. Looking at this track next to Brands Hatch, you can see what I'm saying though. Like, they have a very similar style to the overall design, other than it doesn't continue around down here. It just kind of stops and loops back around. And then this is kind of like opposite. You can probably see what I'm saying though. It seems like they borrowed a lot from Brands Hatch and just like the overall design of it. And it's Bridgehampton Race Circuit was the name of that track. I was trying to remember that whole time in the race in those little Russian go-kart. Estonia 3? Yeah, the Estonia 3. So, I think Eastern Creek actually would be a really good track for these cars. I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do. It's a shorter track, so we are going to crank the laps up to like 6. I need to fix this too. I do not want to start all the way in the front. The AI just are too slow off the line, so I don't want to be in the middle, and I don't want to be in the front because I'll just end up leaving them all behind because they're so slow getting started for some reason. And let's bump this up. And this will probably be our last race in this video. I was planning on jumping in Raceroom and maybe testing it out over there too, but dinner should be done by now, and I am starving, so I'm definitely going to be ending this off after this race and just going down, spend a little time with my wife and kids, and have some dinner. Been waiting on this chicken to get done for like a few hours in the slow cooker now, and I'm sure it's done by this time. It should have actually probably been done shortly after I started the stream.
6 laps.
I just didn't want to do the stream super late, and I didn't want to skip today altogether, so I figured I'd just go ahead and try to knock out something short for you guys and have a little fun testing all this new stuff out. Oh wow, my lights are extremely bright on this thing. Not a bad thing though. There we go.
Clear on the left side.
This thing just leans out in the corners. Oh god.
Left side. All clear on
Well,
the
I
left.
managed to avoid just slamming into the back of them. I completely forgot how slow they are into that corner. The first lap around anyways, they are all just so bunched up going into there, they all have to just basically come to a standstill. Not trying to drift this thing. There are some spots on the circuit that have really low grip, it feels like, or it could just be because of elevation. This thing has the turning radius of a bus, it feels like. Well, that just happened. I know what the issue is. I'm driving the car too hard in the corners, and I do not have
Make 'em count. Okay, get
steering
ready.
or the brakes for it. Not in this thing. I got in the mindset of like go-kart, like handling, driving that little Estonia, and now I'm just trying to be way too aggressive in the corners with this. This 1970 Challenger is not going to turn decently in any way, shape, or form. At least not in vintage Trans Am racing trim.
All clear on the right.
Oh!
On your right.
He just like
on your
dead
right.
stopped there in front of us just about.
Clear on your right.
I figured we'd have more time before he started braking too, because he had quite a bit of room in front of him.
Well done, Jack. Good start.
I was gonna say they're really early on the brakes in this corner too.
All right.
We will get through this race.
That's barely a scratch. Just ignore it.
I just gotta figure out how the AI are gonna drive into some of these corners on this track, so I can actually get
B16, be ready.
positions made up. It's definitely gonna be a challenge in these cars because you can't be too aggressive in the corners. Because, like I said, you don't have the stopping or turning power to be able to get them through the corners extremely fast. So like I knew they were gonna slow down right like mid-corner on that one, so I was trying to give them some
Clear
space.
left. Left side. Clear on the left side. Easy. Car on your left. Clear left.
I slowed to a crawl, still managed to tap him.
Easy. Hold your line. You're clear left. Car on your left. All clear on the left. On your left. Still there. Clear left. Car on your left. Car on your left. Clear left.
Managed to get the car back under control there.
Still there. Clear on the left side. Car on your left. All clear on the left.
Still a little light on
Car
that
your
corner.
left. You're clear left.
You're running last.
I know I am. Try to get a little clutch tick there to get the rear end to come around. It's got so much rear grip though, it just does not want to slide out when I want it to.
On your left.
It's always when I'm not ready for it, it decides to come around on me. Usually I feel like it's more to do with weight transfer than anything to do with actual overpowering the tires.
Clear left.
Come on, Jack. Good stuff. Keep it coming.
Oh my god, they just
Clear on the
stopped
left side,
so
left
quickly
side.
there.
Clear left.
Oh, we saved it. I do not know how I managed to get it slowed down and turn where I needed to go, but somehow it all worked out for me. Obviously, not a good line, but
All clear on the left.
managed to salvage the race. Oh!
Careful. Car on your right. Clear right.
Okay, now I'm just driving like a maniac through that corner. I've really got to focus on the track a little bit more, or I'm going to keep overdriving those corners.
The leader is just done 116, 1.8.
How's the tires?
We're not seeing any significant tyre wear.
Surprising, because it looks like they're getting a little bit warm on me. Ho ho!
All right.
Oh, I was
You're on your
hoping
right.
he would slow down enough I could get across him.
Well done, good pass.
Minimal contact though, nothing serious. You almost kind of have to learn to drive with the oversteer a little bit in these things to get them through some of the corners fast. They definitely do not get around any tight corners in any kind of hurry if you don't. Oh, I still understeered off there.
Alright, Jeff, just cut the track. Keep it between the white lines or we'll get a penalty.
On
A
your
little
right.
bit of a drag race down the straight.
Hold your line. Clear on your right.
Halfway home. Fuel looks good. P13. Push. Get this guy.
Oh, it's really drifting out in the corner on me on that one.
On your right.
I tried to get out of the way, but he clearly did not slow down for me.
Clear left.
Watch the track limits. We'll get a penalty if we don't.
We only got 2 laps left. We're just going to try to finish this out, see if we can't make a few positions up. That's really all this is about, too, is me getting better at driving and more accustomed to just different cars. That's why I have the AI set as high as I do in difficulty and aggressiveness. I want to get better at driving against them, especially with how erratically they drive, so it should, in theory, help with my overall awareness on track.
On your right.
That corner just kills me every single
Easy.
time.
Car on your left. You're clear left.
If I can manage to drive cleanly with the sporadic, sometimes homicidal AI here in Assetto Corsa. This thing just sounds so nasty.
Last.
All right. Hold your line. All clear on the right.
Just
Well done, Jack.
breathing on the throttle to make my way through there.
Car on your right. Right. On your right.
Oh wow, these things just soak those curves up. And the cars I drove here before, if you nailed those little white curves, they just sent you spinning into oblivion.
On your left.
Jesus, that was
Left
aggressive
side.
braking there.
Come on, that's past the stuff.
Oh, almost had
Car
it.
on your left.
Things
Clear
snap
left,
back
left
so
side,
aggressively.
Clear left.
There goes all those positions we made back. May as well just have some fun with the car, right? Although I still could manage to make up some spots here. They're not getting too far
One lap to
away.
go.
Oh! I was really trying to get the rear end to step out there and see if I couldn't get it to rotate around the corner like that, and it just did not want to go. Oh, too much throttle coming over the bump. I knew that was going to be a bad idea. Oh, I stalled it too. You can tell this thing has some extremely long gears in it. Hey, I managed to actually hang on to it that time. It's definitely a very difficult car to control around the corner and slide if you just aren't super precise with the throttle. It just come around so
18th.
quick.
There we go, it's over. Bring it back round.
Well guys, that's going to do it for the stream. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it wasn't a whole lot really as far as any cohesiveness whatsoever to this stream at all. Like I said though in the title, this is basically just a test to see how Crew Chief's working, see if it's doing all the things I want to, and it definitely is. It's so much fun driving with that and having just all that extra info coming at you and just adding to the overall immersion factor of the sim. If you guys did enjoy the video though, or the stream I should say though, wow, I've gotten really in habit of saying that, and I haven't actually been making a lot of videos lately. It's mostly all been live streams here since I've been trying to get everything ironed out since getting this new PC set up. But if you did enjoy the stream, please consider hitting that like button down below, leaving a comment in the replay of the stream, because you can't really leave a comment other than in live chat right now. But all that aside, if you did enjoy it, please leave a comment of some sort. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are on Crew Chief or any of these cars, if you guys have tried them out or these tracks, or if you have any recommendations. I would really like to know. I'm entirely open to trying new cars and tracks here in Assetto. There's so many. It's kind of hard to unbury all of them and find what you really want to race. It's kind of an overload sometimes of just mods for this game. Also guys, if you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell to be notified of streams like this and future videos. And if you're interested guys, I also did start selling merch for the channel just to help me kind of progress the channel more, be able to put more back into it, and get the quality of the content even better. I'm really happy with the design of it. I do have shirts, stickers, and coffee mugs right now over in my Teespring store. You can find the links down in the description, as well as all the links to my social media. Yeah, it's definitely been a long day. So if you guys want to check any of that out, it's all down there below, and I'll see you guys next time.